After a chaotic All-Star weekend that saw tempers boil and Joey Logano win $1 million, the Cup Series returns this weekend with a crown jewel race in the Queen City. The statistics are once again focusing on Kyle Larson to end up in victory lane. Larson will try the Memorial Day double on Sunday, which is a task in and of itself, but it's a 1.5-mile track this week, so Larson should be able to make his way to the front after driving 500 miles around the Brickyard. Larson won the Coca-Cola 600 in 2021, sweeping both stages and leading 327 laps at Charlotte. He also has 21 stage wins on 1.5-mile tracks since 2021 and the most top 5 finishes in night races in the next-gen era, 7. The Coca-Cola 600 promises to be a fantastic nightcap to a day packed with action in 3 major racing categories. But Kyle can only win if he arrives on time, and Nascar and Kyle have opened up about the struggles in reaching both race starts. Nascar openly stated it wants Kyle Larson to attempt the Indianapolis-Charlotte double and will make every effort to accommodate him when the Coca-Cola 600 begins Sunday night. We're going to work closely with the folks at Speedway Motorsports, our TV broadcast partners, the folks at Hendrick Motorsports, to do everything we can to make sure that Kyle can get there. Within reason, Elton Sawyer said. We've got some minute-by-minute schedules. And when we do our command and when the green flag waves, but we're going to work closely together to make sure our fans get to see one of the best drivers ever in our sport to be able to participate in our Coke 600 Sunday night. Larson qualified 5th for the Indianapolis 500 with Arrow McLaren last Sunday before flying to North Wilkesboro Speedway to race in the NASCAR All-Star race the same night. Although the Hendrick Motorsports driver arrived with time to spare, landing at 7:15 p.m. ET, NASCAR had delayed the race's start back by 15 minutes. The Indianapolis 500 will start at 12:45 p.m. ET on Sunday. Sunday night's Coca-Cola 600, NASCAR's longest race, begins after 6 p.m. ET. If you back up from what we just had at the All-Star weekend and obviously what was going on at Indy with Kyle, that is a great motorsports story for this young man to be able to do the double, Sawyer stated. I think President Steve Phelps said it this week. That's a generational talent, and there was an opportunity to do the triple where he could run Monaco with Formula One. Then he could get to Indy, and then he could get to the 600. Kyle Larson is the guy who could do that. Obviously, that's not going to happen. It logistically doesn't work out. But as far as the sanctioning body, the industry, our fans last weekend, to see the helicopter drop in there at North Wilkesboro and Kyle get out, it's a great storyline. The flight from Indianapolis to Charlotte Motor Speedway takes around 50 minutes to an hour. Larson will depart the Brickyard by helicopter, then board an aircraft and fly into Concord before returning to the Speedway via helicopter. For drivers who have participated in the double, including Kurt Busch in 2014, the helicopter has landed on the front stretch grass. Kyle Larson himself is looking forward to a weekend full of racing and isn't expecting any trouble. It's honestly pretty relaxing doing it like this, Larson remarked after his Indianapolis 500 qualifying debut. If he's nervous, he doesn't show it too much, team owner Rick Hendrick said of the superstar, who will start 5th in his first Indy 500. He just believes in his ability. Once he gets in the car and gets comfortable, he wants to race, said 2016 Indianapolis 500 winner Alexander Rossi, his teammate at Arrow McLaren for the IndyCar weekend. In terms of working with him, it's pretty straightforward because everything for him is just good. It's kind of weird. It's like, is anything ever bad? He's like, not yet. Okay, sweet. That carefree excellence lies at the heart of the 2021 NASCAR Cup Series champion's magnificence. But there will be no escaping his performance on Sunday, when he attempts to become the 6th driver to compete in both the Indy 500 and the Coca-Cola 600. On what has been dubbed the greatest day in motorsports, Larson, 31, may take a significant step toward confirming his status as the best talent of his age. In 9 prior attempts to race an Indy car and a stock car on the country's 2 most important circuits, no one has come close to winning either. If Larson wins in the Brickyard, and even more so if he wins at Charlotte Motor Speedway, he will have established himself as one of the greatest drivers of all time, and surely one of the best on the planet now. After winning what is widely regarded as the world's greatest sprint car race, the Knoxville Nationals, the world's largest midget event, the Chili Bowl, and some of NASCAR's most prestigious crown jewels, Larson's convincing victory in the Indy 500 would place him with Mario Andretti and AJ Foyt. Andretti has long argued that Larson deserves a shot at Indy, and he feels he'll be a factor for sure on Sunday at the Brickyard. Larson, the only guy to win the Daytona 500, the Indy 500, and a Formula One championship, believes that winning the Indy 500 would be the pinnacle of his racing versatility. What really always motivated me was that our sport is rich of different disciplines at the top level, Andretti stated. And to be able to move over from where technically your specialty is and go on the other side and win, that's the ultimate satisfaction in my book. And that's what he's been doing. Wherever he has gone, he brings back the results. And that tells the story, quite honestly. Larson has proudly carried the flag of being the last real racer since entering NASCAR's Premier Series 10 years ago. A tribute to being known for turning laps into the early hours of the morning on a dirt track in the middle of nowhere, and then winning a cup race the next day on a few hours of sleep. It demonstrates his unlimited enthusiasm for racing while also indicating a great ambition. Larson stated in a 2021 interview with NBC Sports' Dustin Long, "I don't want to be just referenced as the greatest NASCAR driver of all time or the greatest sprint car driver of all time. I want to be known as somebody who could climb into all different types of cars and be great at what they do." What effect does racing in the Indianapolis 500 have on those crossover credentials? Larson has stated that it would be a big step in earning the right to be compared to his racing heroes. "I probably strive to do this race even more just because of those guys that people try to compare me to, AJ, Mario, Tony, Stewart, that race everything," Larson said while at the Brickyard to attend last year's Indy 500. "I haven't raced as many cars as they have. Being able to add an Indy 500 to the resume gets me closer to being compared to them and feeling like I should be compared to them in a way. I love racing all types of cars. I feel like the more you can challenge yourself as a driver, the more it helps you grow as a driver too. So no matter what the results end up being, I think I'm going to be a much better all-around race car driver throughout this experience." Larson's comments on what his racing mates and family consider to be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity? "It's roughly what you would anticipate. Because I don't get too excited about anything. I think for everybody else, it's a way bigger deal to them than it is probably to me as far as a legacy or whatever," he said. "So friends and people around me definitely know it's a bigger deal than I probably realize. But I don't think about any of that right now." But things could go very, very wrong for Larson this weekend as the weather will play a big part in this weekend's double. As thunderstorms and heavy rain are expected in Indianapolis on Sunday. And with rain expected for Sunday's Indianapolis 500, could Kyle Larson be yanked from his IndyCar ride to start the Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte Motor Speedway that night? Larson's actions may be mostly influenced by the weather. Weather Underground's early prognosis for Sunday's Indianapolis 500 predicts an 80% likelihood of thunderstorms around the 12:45 p.m. ET race start. The likelihood of rain is higher than 74% for the rest of the day. Weather Underground's early prediction for Sunday night's Coca-Cola 600 predicts 24% rain for the start of the race. The possibility of rain at Charlotte Motor Speedway is between 20 and 24% for the rest of the night. Larson admits the prediction for Indianapolis is troubling. "It's stressful because weather is always unpredictable, but you just don't really know until it's like happening," Larson said Thursday. "So it's hard to plan for weather. You can have all these plans and backup plans for the backup plan, but you just can't really do anything or react until it's kind of the moment. That's what's a little bit stressful. Yeah, it doesn't look too promising for Indy on Sunday, but I think for me where I sit, if it's going to rain, I hope it rains all day. That way it can just get pushed to Monday or something, and then Charlotte is not going to rain. I just hope it doesn't rain, and we can get it in on Sunday night and then come here Monday." Again, it's weather. The forecast changes kind of every day, but yeah, we'll see. What are you expecting? Will Larson be able to drive in both races? Or will the weather ruin his dreams? And if he were to drive in both, will he win one or both? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.